Ladies, it is time to tap into your sensuality. Okay. Let's be real. Okay. Some of y'all are walking around here with the energy of a plumber, a tired IT man, the mechanic. Okay. Where is the softness, the magnetism? Where is you know, I could make a man risk it all energy? I could make someone fall to their knees energy. If you have been feeling disconnected from your sensuality and your feminine energy, I got you. Today, we are talking about how to tap into your natural glow, okay? The energy that will make you feel good and pretty much how you can draw in that magnetism. For the girls that want the real tea, and I really go step by step on how you can do this, you can follow me on Patreon. I will link it down below in the comments. I will pin it in the comments and I will pretty much give you a blueprint on how detailed you can tap into your sensuality. So, let's talk about what is sensuality and what is feminine energy. I think one of the biggest things that people get mixed up with sensuality is that people think that sensuality is synonymous to sexuality, and it's not, okay? Sensuality has nothing to do with sexuality. Can you still embody sexuality while embracing your sensuality? Absolutely. But the two, they are in their own lane overall, okay? And the beautiful thing about sensuality is that you, as a woman, that is something that is special to us. Okay. That is something that only we can tap into. That is something only that we can possess on a natural level. And sensuality and feminine energy, it's not just about looking sexy. It's really about how you move through life, your confidence, your presence, the way you make people feel when you walk in a room. Oftentimes, a lot of people, even at a very young age, people always tell me, you walk in a room and you light it up. You have an aura about you, you have a bright light about you. All of that is sensuality. And there are celebrities that have this kind of that je ne sais quoi type of vibe, right? So women like Rihanna, Lori Harvey, Lisa Bonet, these are women that are very captivating, very cunning, and they just have that energy that draws you in, right? And feminine energy and sensuality, it's all about flow. It's all about softness. It's all about magnetism. And essentially, it is about you being in your receiving era instead of always chasing. And your sensuality is essentially you enjoying life through your senses. If we did not live in a capitalistic society, women would be in full form with their sensuality because we would not have all of these artificial things to rely on. In a world with just nature, the feminine is sensual. Okay, she admires the trees. She admires the sunrise, the sunset, the raindrops, the sound of a thunderstorm, the flick of the lightning. This is what it means to be sensual. You are taking in and receiving everything around you. And I want to talk about why do we lose touch with our sensual side, right? And why do so many women feel disconnected from this energy? Kind of like what I said before, we have the stress and the hustle mode, the girl boss era. And essentially, it really is us being in a capitalistic society where we have to rely on making money for our survival. And so you don't have time to bask in your feminine energy. You don't have time to sunbathe. You don't have time to take a bubble bath. You don't have time to get a massage. You're just trying to get throughout the day. You know, us women, we love our candles, right? We love our candles. Candles is sensuality. You like the comfort of the smell. You like the warmth of the flame. You like the aroma that you get when you walk out of the room that has the candle and then you walk back in and you can smell it. Another reason why we lose touch with our sensuality is it's really us being over masculine in a sense. I guess you could say this is the thing that men complain about, but the men aren't doing anything to facilitate this, to prevent this from happening. So, kind of like bossing up, being strong, no emotions type of thing. And that's great, but there has to be a balance. You could still be a boss and be soft. And so, the world that we live in now is that in order for you to tap into your sensuality, you have to create a sense of stability and security for yourself. A lot of women want to go to men for this, and you should never do that. You should rely on yourself to tap into that sensuality through having your finances together, having a form of passive income. The next reason is lack of self appreciation. When you are a woman who does not feel worthy of softness, pleasure, you're subconsciously going to block yourself from it because you feel like it is out of reach. And I want to essentially next, I want to talk about briefly 10 ways to reconnect with your sensuality and your feminine energy. Okay. The first thing, slow, intentional movements. Okay. I have the habit myself of being a very fast talker. So, even one thing that I've had to train myself when it comes to being on this platform and giving you all information is to slow down my talking. I walk very fast. When I am around other people, I'm usually having to be reminded where you're rushing to, where are you going? Why do you need to be in such a hurry? It'll be my day off, it'll be the weekend. I won't have any crazy things to do, and I'm rushing, rushing like I'm in a marathon. Sensuality is really rooted in a woman that takes her time, okay? You walking, talking, sipping a drink, you should move like a gazelle, okay? The next thing is eye contact and the power of the gaze. Sensual women really are intentional about how their gaze is, how heavy their eyes are, how open their eyes are, and what direction are their eyes going. The ability to be able to give someone eye contact and hold it just long enough where you're confident and you're at ease and you don't come off like a weirdo, whether it's, playful, seductive, or present, that really ups the ante on your sensuality because once again, you're taking in a sense, you're taking in sight. And based off of how you do that, you are able to reflect that energy back to other people. The third thing is your voice, you know, a very velvety, feminine, smooth voice. And it's not about having like a fake voice or a baby voice. It's about being intentional. And a soft, rich, even a well-paced voice draws people in effortlessly. So people like Sade, Eartha Kitt, um, those are women who are well known for their voice because they just have that very smooth, very just soothing type of voice, right? The fourth thing, I do this a lot, how you touch things, your hair, a glass, or even just resting your hand on your chest. This is actually the adornments when it comes to nails, okay? One thing that I love about nails is that when you really know like the history of these type of adornments, this is to tap into a sense, when you have an elongation of your finger and you're doing something like opening up something as simple as this lip gloss, there's a way that you can open up this lip gloss for it to be sensual with your nails. Because if I wanted to, this isn't sensual, me opening it up like this. When I'm slow, it looks so much better, right? It does. It looks so much better. It is these very, very small, minute things when you're taking your time and essentially you being present. Sensuality is rooted in being present. This is why sensuality is such a deep spiritual practice, because it's forcing you to not rush. It's forcing you to embrace the very, very little things. And these are all things that build up that really allow you to command attention and to really have a strong presence where you are unforgettable. The next thing, I talk about this often on my Patreon, the art of subtle mystery. You don't need to tell everybody everything all at once. Sensuality thrives on mystique, okay? A glance, a smirk, a pause before you respond. You have to let people lean in to figure you out. The next thing is to be in touch with your body, okay? A woman who moves like she knows herself is magnetic. This can be from dance, this could be from stretching, this could be from self care. You could stand in a mirror and admire yourself. Your body language speaks before you do. The next thing is dressing for your shape and for your energy. Sensuality is not about dressing sexy. It's not about how much you could reveal. It's not about how much skin you could show. It's about dressing in a way that flatters your body and makes you feel confident. I love Erica Badu because Erica Badu has a lot of sensuality through how she dresses, because she actually does dress in a way where she is very covered up. She doesn't wear very tight clothing. And it's actually because underneath all of that, she actually has a very, very beautiful shape. And it kind of adds to her layer of mysticism, because you could tell she has a very strong spirit and she knows how to like get, especially men, kind of get men in with all of her other attributes. So then when she does, take off her clothing, she's got this wonderful body underneath, and it's like, damn, like, you mean there's more to this? You mean it gets better? And so, fabrics that are silky, draped fits. I love wearing anything off the shoulder. Off the shoulder is like top tier sensuality. The next thing is a signature scent. Never underestimate the power of a memorable scent. One of my like witchy friends, it's really funny. So a couple months back, she was like over at a guy's house, and she's my friend on Snapchat. And she had like put me in a private Snapchat. And you want to know what she did? She brought her fragrance with her. And when the guy was in the bathroom, she sprayed the fragrance on his pillow. And that is a really good way for a man to not forget you, for you to leave behind a scent, a trail, anyone, not even just a man. It makes you magnetic. It really does make you magnetic. Like one time I sprayed some perfume, and I, went into a guy's house or whatever. And a couple of days later he texted me and he said, "What did you have on?" He was like, I can still smell you in here. And that guy, even though I curved him, like a year later, he still wanted to entertain me. He still was asking, "Can we please get together? Can we please do something?" That is how you leave an impression, even after you walk away. Vanilla, musks, florals, find a scent that feels like you. The next thing, number 9, comfort in your own skin. Okay. The most sensual thing is a woman who feels good in her own presence. She's not fidgeting. She's not overthinking. She's not doubting herself. She's not constantly fixing her hair. She's not constantly looking in the mirror. She's not constantly fidgeting, messing with her clothes. She's just there. She knows the hair is perfect. She knows the outfit is perfect. It's fit just right. She's just receiving. She's receiving the conversation. She's receiving the compliments. She's receiving the stares. That makes you magnetic. And then, last but not least, number 10, the ability to receive. Feminine, sensual women receive compliments, help, pleasure. For a lot of women, their lack of pleasure is tied to them not being tapped into their sensuality. Okay. There are a lot of women who, when they're sleeping with a man, they don't want to take their shirt off. They don't want to take their bra off. And it's because they're not tapped into their sensuality. And so what's happening is they're withholding, especially in their sacral chakra, they're withholding all of the creativity, all the sensuality, all of the self-esteem. And so now that energy isn't flowing anywhere because you have it all bottled up because you have not tapped into your sensuality. And so women also do this with compliments when you not receiving is something as simple as someone complimenting you and you saying, "Oh, you didn't have to. Oh, you shouldn't have." Girl, receive it. Okay. Tell them thank you. Tell them I appreciate you and let the energy flow. When people do good things for you, just take it. So, in closing, sensuality isn't just about appearance, it's an energy, it's an aura. And the more you lean into being present and making sure that people remember your presence, you being confident, you being receptive, then the more effortlessly sensual you are going to become. I am going to do a deeper dive in this on my Patreon today. So if you want techniques on how you can unlock this sensual energy step by step, please join me on Patreon and I will see you guys next time. Bye.